have to lean in. It works. Trying to adjust it so that I don't have the microphone as a nose. So, but I know how important it is to lean in so that everybody could hear me. So, good afternoon. This is our very first live event at full capacity with all these chairs. Be nice to fill in a few, but still, we only got Michael sitting in the front.
Do I get a prize?
I'll get you a prize later. Maybe the residents have a prize of a donation for you later. So for those of you that are unable to attend, we are trying to record this. And if we are successful with recording, thanks to Dave, we will advertise it. I do apologize for the late notice, but I was actually supposed to be off today for a softball tournament for my daughter in Ohio. But that since changed to New Jersey, and then that changed, the schedule changed because they have a shortage of umpires. What a problem. So I will be off tomorrow for the tournament in New Jersey. So I needed to, I wanted to communicate updates to you, so that's why I kind of shoved in Let's Talk today. So again, I apologize for the late notice. I know that there is a trip going on at the same time, but as I said, I was hoping to actually tag along with that trip at Peddler's Village, but as I said, I wanted to give you some updates. I wanted to remind you that we do have amplifiers for a hearing aid loop, and if anybody has a hearing aid or has difficulty hearing, we do have those amplifiers in the what do we call that room? The studio. So if you are interested in an amplifier, we have 4 that you could utilize or try out. So I encourage you to do that because we have heard that there are issues with the volume or people being able to hear completely or not. So we do have the amplifiers. And that system was put in place when we renovated the theater. And there have been people that have utilized them in the past, but we haven't been in the theater as a big group in a while, so I just wanted to remind you that we do have that as an option. And because we are attempting to record, if you wouldn't mind holding your questions to the end so that we can bring a microphone around to get your questions on the microphone and on the video. So, and with that, I just wanted to and if we are able to record, it is being recorded on Thursday, June 17th. But with that, I would like to invite Mark up to open us with prayer, and I will continue to lean in.
That's fine right there. Okay. It's really good to see you all out there. Doesn't this feel like we're moving towards normalcy? Oh, man. This is a good step. We're just going to keep filling more chairs in with people, though, but this feels good. I walked in Sundays, and I didn't realize this had happened. I was out Friday and Saturday, and I come up on Sunday to set up the theater for Vesper services later that night. And I walked in, and I went, whoa, and I was so happy. I hope you're happy, too, because this is a good sign. We're getting there. So I'm glad you're here. And would you join me in prayer by joining me in your heart? Dear Lord, we are grateful for this beautiful day and the beauty of your creation. And most especially, we're grateful for your presence in it and with us. Lord, we really do thank you for Lima Estates and for all the residents and the staff that make our community so, so special. Lord, we do ask that you would be with those who are in need, and would you strengthen them and us in body, mind, and spirit. Lord, we ask you to please continue to watch over us and provide for us. And Lord, we do thank you for this time we're spending together, and may it help us to live as a community that's marked by excellence, and would you guide us into the way of loving kindness. Amen.
All right, thank you, Mark. So, since our last meeting, there's been a lot happening. We had our Senior Fitness Day with Laura back in May. It seems so long ago. And we also did our graduation for all of our seniors, servers graduating. That was a very nice event. We were happy to have it, happy to celebrate the servers. We had lots of picture takers. And I think they enjoyed themselves. The only thing that we didn't do that we did not last year, but the year before, was allow them to have their guests or their parents. So hopefully next year we'll be able to celebrate with their parents. But that was a very nice event. We were able to post it on Facebook, and I think the kids enjoyed it. We gave them beach chairs for senior week and little gifts, and it was a nice event. They had their cheesesteaks. So next year, maybe we can have residents offer to serve our servers. We also are, as Mark has said, we are opening up. The community is opening up slowly but surely. There are still a few things that are not open, like the Once Again shop is not open to outside people at the moment. However, we are getting phone calls saying, oh, I read somewhere you're open. So I don't know if they're hopeful that we're open. But as of right now, the community is not open to the outside without being invited by a resident and being proof of a vaccination status or being tested. So I don't know that we're going to have the capacity to test every person that wants to shop in the Once Again shop on a weekend, but we're not there yet. We did have our very first on-site marketing event with food yesterday, which was very nice. We had 9 people come that have come before, so they keep coming back to Lima, which is a very good sign. So that was a very nice event. And we are celebrating our birthday nights. We're back to having birthday nights in the Wyeth room with guests. Unfortunately, have to have proof of vaccination still or being tested. So, as I said, we are moving in the right direction. June 28th is the mask mandate being lifted for the state of Pennsylvania. However, right before coming up to the theater, we had our Axe Vision, our Journey Forward version 21, or episode 21, was just sent out, and it will be on the in-house TV. I've not had a chance to watch it yet, so things will be definitely different, I'm sure, from what I'm telling you right now. I do know that in the tagline it said that restrictions will be lifted as of the 21st for independent residents. So the 21st is Monday? Monday. So I will have to watch that and let you know more details. But the 28th is the actual state of Pennsylvania lifting of the mask mandate. However, in Willowbrook Court and Oakbridge Terrace, because that is regulated by a different regulatory agency, CMS, we still require masks being worn in Willowbrook Court and Oakbridge Terrace. So whether you're vaccinated or not, staff have to wear masks, and visitors if you're going into Willowbrook Court and Oakbridge Terrace. So you will still see some staff wearing a mask because they're coming from Willowbrook Court or Oakbridge Terrace. Some people forget that they still have it on. But right now, the requirement is that if you're vaccinated, you do not need to wear a mask, whether you're staff or resident. However, for certain positions. So maintenance, if they're going into your apartment, they should be wearing a mask. Housekeeping, if they're going into your apartment, they should be wearing a mask. If you're in close contact with someone, this employee should be wearing a mask. The receptionist is supposed to be wearing a mask. But I'm hopeful that as of the 28th, that will be lifted because the mask mandate for the state is lifted. So to be continued. The golden rule is not that if you see someone with a mask, oh, they must not be vaccinated. That's not the case. The mask is for your protection and our protection and following regulations for CMS because of the delicate clientele residents in Willowbrook Court and Oakbridge Terrace. So masks are still our friend, and we still are wearing them. Again, when we meet with people, it's kind of weird because the first thing you say, you have your mask on and then you say, do you mind? And then you can take it off. But we have to be courteous of one another and not assume that if someone is wearing a mask that they're not vaccinated. But I do have to say we are at 70% herd immunity. The residents are 99.6 in Lima, and the staff are at 71.43. So our continuing encouragement of the staff and the ability to have the vaccine available to us is extremely helpful and beneficial. Our positivity rate, we do testing based on the positivity rate. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would know about positivity rates or anything else of these types of requirements. But because we're under 5%, last 2 weeks we were at 2.8, we're down to 1.8 or 2.7 and we're down to 1.8. So we're almost to zero, but because of the positivity rate being under 5%, non-vaccinated staff still need to be tested monthly. So we were testing non-vaccinated staff weekly and because we were above 5%, but now that we're declining, we're now testing monthly. So safe to say that everybody is negative, and our next testing for our non-vaccinated staff, which is going down as resident or as staff get vaccinated, will be in July. So we did have to create a CTC position, which is a COVID testing coordinator. One never would know that you would have to have that position. But that was held by Venetia Griffith. She was the pregnant woman. And since then she gave birth. She will be returning next week. And in the interim, Darian Tully, who is an RN in Willowbrook Court, has been covering for that position. So we still test the servers under 23. So whether they're vaccinated or not, because some of them can't be vaccinated. So they are still being tested. But again, we have to report every test to the PA Department of Health and to the national, it's called NHSN. It's a national directory and it's guided by the CDC. So every time there's a test, I record it. So it's pretty interesting how we have to keep track of everything. But the tagline is that we are getting back to basics. So with that, our goal is to get everyone back to the dining room. And we are hopeful. I know that there were some things that we did to help people during the pandemic. But one of the things that they're looking to reevaluating is the grocery delivery. That may be going away. So those that rely on it heavily, we need to know, but we're trying to possibly phase that out, but I just wanted to alert you of that. We may work on an arrangement with Peapod, which is the giant delivery. It's very labor intensive for our culinary staff to manage, tally, and the prices are really cheap. So we're not getting I guess the best bang for our buck with that. But that's something that they're going to phase out, but it's not yet. The one thing that we're going to also try to phase out is the free food deliveries. That will be coming to an end. We want to see your faces. We want you back in the dining room. We always had food delivery if you were ill or needed extra support, but for a fee. So you'll have notice when that happens. We will still continue with the food delivery, but the old adage, use it or lose it. We want you out and about. We want you back socializing in the dining room and taking advantage of the socialization. But as I said, once I have more information on that, I will communicate it. But I'm saying that it's not going away, but it won't be free. Food Focus will start back up in September, so your complaints about that can go to Food Focus. But obviously then they come to me, so it doesn't matter. But guest apartments have been opened. They are being booked. We have our reservations are happening. They are happening through the front office with Jessica. The new residents, we do have guest apartments. You came in when we weren't able to occupy those guest apartments. They do not have phones anymore because of if someone wants to buy that location, we will sell it. So the guest apartments are moving. They're, I guess, guest apartments on the move. So there's a guest apartment in Evergreen, in Forest, and in Aspen. And they are being booked. As I said, there's no phones. It's $98 a night. And that's the same price that it was on the ancillary fee, and it comes with a free breakfast. So whoever stays gets the swipe card and is entitled to a free breakfast. But each unit has a full kitchen. It's stocked with coffee like you would in a hotel. And they are being booked, so we're welcoming back visitors. However, the big caveat is you have to be vaccinated to be a guest. So if your guest is not vaccinated, we're not able to accommodate your guest in the guest apartment. We are also opening up our water fountains. The water fountain outside of the theater is operable. We had it all checked out and recirculated and everything. So if you're thirsty and need to stay hydrated in this heat, please do, even though today's gorgeous. I just think we have to get cups. So the sign's down, just we don't have any cups. And we are looking to try to replace the other water fountains that we have with that type of hands-free service. One thing we discovered in COVID is that it's not that sanitary to lean over a spout of water. So unless you fill it up in a bottle. So we're going to try to replace those with the hands-free or bottle-free portion to get your water. So stay tuned for that. We did have our Willowbrook Court and life safety surveys I mentioned last Let's Talk. We started our survey in Willowbrook Court with 4 deficiencies, but luckily our team were able to come up with extra documentation and things so we ended up with 2 deficiencies. So we are very proud of that after a pandemic and with a new administrator and new team. So we were very proud that Willowbrook Court only came up with 2 deficiencies. And life safety received 2 deficiencies as well. Our plan of correction needed to be completed by June 11th, which was last Friday, so this Department of Health can come in anytime to make sure that we have done what we said we would do to correct our deficiencies. And for life safety, that will be the end of June 30th. But we hope that they'll want to just do a desk review and send us and have us send information. Because no matter what, no matter how well you do, having a surveyor in the building is stressful. So, but we did well, and we'll welcome them back whenever. We opened up the cafe. Hope that's all going well. We have the cash box back, so you can have guests in the cafe. You can pay cash. It doesn't have to go on your bill. It doesn't have to count as a swipe. But again, I just have to reiterate, your guest needs to be vaccinated or have been shown a test that day. So the rapid tests that we do cost $25, and they're only good for the day. So if you want to have someone that stays in your apartment, they can stay in your apartment. They just can't come into the general area unless they have been tested or been vaccinated. Oh, sorry. And we had a really nice picnic, not yet, on June 10th. So again, that was something that was different. It was iffy weather. We had to find a new location to be close in case we had to run indoors. It still ended up raining, but we were close enough that we were able to accommodate residents that didn't want to be outside in the rain or in the sun, that they could have dined in the dining rooms, which we thought it worked out pretty good. Lessons learned, as we know from past picnics, those that have been here in the past, we used to affectionately call them Donna days because they're always the perfect weather. But Donna's retired and home enjoying her grandson, and Devin is home waiting for her son to be born. So the rest of the team just had to gather up and make it work, and I think we did. We didn't really advertise it on the bulletin board. We learned that. It was in the Herald, and I thought it was on the TV, but it was on the TV for at the gazebo, but we changed the location. So there was a few hiccups, but again, it was our very first one without our people to coordinate in the past, and I thought we had a nice time. And we have a little video to show. All right. So it was very nice. It was nice to see smiling faces, and again, it was our very first one in a while. We didn't have a sign up. We didn't charge anybody for it. So one thing we did find out is that we couldn't locate any of all of our folding chairs. So if during the pandemic you've had any events that you have had your secret spots or have used some chairs, we're looking for them. So we had about 100, and I think we came up with about 70. So so we think, I mean, even coming in here, I saw a couple back here. I know that there's a folding chair in the front lobby. There's a couple chairs that pop up in the coffee area. So we think they're here, I just thought I'd put the word out if anybody sees any of the folding chairs. But we won't need them until we have another outside event. So, but on that day, there was a lot of activity. We had an ambulance come. We were cleaning up, and then I gave out a code red. So that was what day was that? So the day of the picnic was June 10th. So a code red came out to all your phones, letting you know that we had some perpetrators that hit the campus. So the 3 hoodlums accessed the community, and I found out after hours of review of the video cameras, and it was finally determined that they came through on the grass. So I just wanted to affirm and let everybody know that it wasn't anybody in the security house, the welcome house, or any security guard not doing their job. Everybody that comes through is screened, recorded through that gate. But unfortunately, these guys did not come through the gate. And we were told that it's happening around the country. We did get a description of the car. We got a description of them. It was on video, and I just watched it. So if anybody comes across an orange hoodie with a lightning bolt on the back, one of the perpetrators wore that. So it was brazen. It was broad daylight, not even wearing black or trying to conceal anything. So it was a silver Mercedes with tinted windows, E-Class, very nice car, which the thought is that it was probably stolen as well because they didn't care what they ran over getting onto the campus. So as surprising as it is to all of us and to everybody, I just wanted to let you know. I let you know immediately once we found out, just so that you could keep an eye out, watch those that are around you. But I am working with the state police. They have it all on video. As I said, it is happening around the country. There is a ring in Westchester, and it is thefts of catalytic converters. So, and it's happening because of the high value of these converters. The car of choice that has the highest value of a catalytic converter is a Prius, because apparently there's a different metal in that car. So if you have a Prius, I would park under a light. I would park around people. I would just be because this can happen anywhere. I'm sure they went up and down 352. They may have hit Granite Run Mall, but they were quick. They did everything within 5 minutes. Wow. So they had a science to it. They pull the car up, and it's with a car parked in between other cars, so their car is hiding what they're doing. So again, maybe you don't park next to other cars because then you'd be concealed. But it hit two Prius in our parking lot, and they also look at Ford vehicles because they're higher off the ground. They can just crawl under and saw it off. So again, something I never really wanted to learn that much about, but along with the pandemic, I've learned about catalytic converters. They cut it off with a blade. They actually left the blade. We turned that over to the state police. So we're trying to do our best to be good stewards and try to catch these hoodlums and just make everybody aware. I have been in contact with the family of the resident that was victimized, as well as the employee. So we're working with them to try to get their cars back and operable. We have looked at the area where they came in. It was on camera, so you can't say, oh, we have places that aren't on camera. It was on camera. But the guard is checking in people, lifting the gate, not staring at that camera 24/7. So luckily, we did have the camera so that we could track it down. But we are looking at landscape areas where we can add some fencing and some big boulders so that to try to make the front area and the place where they came in a little bit more secure. But just to remind you that the Welcome House gentlemen are doing extra patrols. They're in their vehicle that has a siren. It has a big light, and their job is just to observe and report. So they're not to get involved with anything happening. That's why 911 is there. So the doors are secure. They're checked every night, so no one can come from across to get in any door but our main door, but they are locked at night. So it's just a crazy incident, but we are looking at it. Our IT people, our security people in the corporate office, our risk liability officer, as well as regional vice president is well aware. We sent out blurbs to everybody just to be on high alert. And we are just dumbfounded that this happened, but we are on top of it. We are working to resolve it, to help make you feel safe. And that's enough about that. But we, again, and the officers do have radios and cell phones. And again, continue to watch your neighbors. Look for, we have contractors in here. We have Amazon drivers that drop things off. We sometimes have newspaper delivery guys. I keep hearing they're not. Sometimes. So, but they're all being checked in, so they come in the right way. But if you do see something that needs attention, by all means, notify the front desk, just like the person that did witness this. Luckily, scared them off, because I have a feeling they would have hit a few more cars if that person didn't get involved and notify the front office that something was happening. Unfortunately, it was just a second too late, because then they did go out the front gate. That's how we got the back of the car. So, because unfortunately, people are able to use the outside gate now. So they just went out the outside gate. Some people have a clicker, some people don't. So the guard did lift it, and it was just a second too late. Because normally, if you got on, you're safe enough to leave. So he didn't know that we were looking for that car. So with that, Father's Day. We have the Father's Day brunch coming. So we hope that you did reservations. They were this week. We are having it on the 20th. It is not an all-you-can-eat brunch, because it's not a buffet. We can't have buffets. They're still to be served. Just like at the picnic, we were all behind serving, because we still want to have as least areas touched, even though we're all vaccinated, pretty much. But we want to be extra careful. We will have, again, anybody that is coming for the Father's Day brunch is to be vaccinated or to be tested. We will have a nurse here that day to do the testing. So if you are having a guest that you know is not vaccinated that needs to be tested, Jen will be here in the wellness office to do testing. Another neat thing that I wanted to talk about is Legacy. It's a new thing that we're going to join with a study through Agri. And Legacy is having students call you once a week to just chat and to help combat loneliness and just to have a relationship with someone. So it's matched with a university student to connect on a weekly basis via a phone call or a video call. And that to share your life experiences and stories, impart wisdom, and discuss goals. And they're only looking for 6 volunteers. So if anybody wants to be part of it, let me know. It's going to spread out throughout all of the ACTS communities, but Lima gets 6 slots. And apparently, it's normally the LED, which is Devin, to coordinate all of it. But since she's not here, it'll be me. So if you want to let me know your interest, there will be more coming, but I did just want to put it out there because it's only 6. I think it would be really cool. I would love for everybody to be able to do it. But at this time, it's only 6, but then we'll get a wait list as well. Because at the end of the program, the student will give you a legacy book of summarizing your conversations and pictures and things like that. But it is a study through the university that we're doing. And let's see, staffing. Staffing's a challenge, as you see throughout the nation, that jobs are out there and no one's coming to claim them. We are doing our best. We are grateful for the new staff that we do have. There are several vacancies in security. Alex, our female guard, she resigned. She went to become a teacher or at a daycare. I think it was something that it was her goal in the beginning. Matt, who is our 4 to 12 guard, he is going to be part-time to pursue school. David German, who is on break from school, previously from culinary, he's in the Welcome House. We have also, or in the process of hiring someone else. And then we still have Joe, Paul, Darnell. We even had Sabrina come back at one point to cover for a weekend. I don't know if anybody got a chance to see her. But so security is a little light, but we are supplementing it with maintenance. And maintenance is now finally full staff. There's a new young gentleman by the name of Tyler. Hopefully you got to meet him or see who he is running the halls. So he's new. We have several openings in culinary. We have several openings in nursing. We have a couple new housekeepers. Our gentleman, William, who was in housekeeping, was a CNA, and he went to hospice. So we're happy to keep him in the family. But sad that he's no longer our houseman. Andre, who you saw in the video, smiling, he's very new to us, but unfortunately he resigned. So we have that position open. A gentleman by the name of Kareem has started. And Jennifer was moving to Georgia. We were going to lose Jennifer, but fortunate for us, she's not. She's staying. So we're happy that Jennifer's staying with us. So we also hired a new part-time enrichment coordinator for Willowbrook Court. She's so new, I don't have her name yet. And Sheila Williams is full-time in Oak Bridge Terrace. But the part-time enrichment coordinator, she's a student, and I'm very excited. I did meet her, and I apologize that I do not know her name. So I think she will be a great addition to Willowbrook Court. On the nursing front, as I previously said, that Venetia's coming back from maternity leave. Hopefully Darian will assist more in Willowbrook Court. Our director of nursing, Marlene Gibbs, actually gave her notice. Her last day will be July 1st. It's very tough to try to maintain a full team in Willowbrook Court. So Lila is our assistant director of nursing, and she came to us from Granite, so she's going full steam ahead. And once we make a decision in regards to a director of nursing, we will absolutely let you know. So it's very tough. We had a long-term team in Willowbrook Court for quite some time. When I was promoted to the executive director, then we had Catherine, and Catherine was there for 5 years, and then things kind of pandemic, and we're still trying to work on getting people. So unfortunately, the pandemic has done much more damage with the nursing profession than, people are tired. They don't want to do the job anymore. We did have a lot of more mature nurses that have chosen to, hey, I'm going to retire. So it is a major challenge. We are working with our agency, Leading Age PA. We're working with our national agency. There's actually going to be a national day of recruitment for the healthcare industry in September. September 15th, I believe, is the date. But it's industry-wide. So, and we are so inundated with communities around here, and everybody's fighting for the same staff, and it is just a major challenge. So continue to pray for us. We are doing the best we can. We do recognize the challenges, and we're trying to be as innovative as possible. If you have any nieces or nephews or grandchildren that are interested in the healthcare field, or our nurses, or want to work in culinary, we are open for applications. And on that note, we are, as I said, Devin is out, so we really don't have anybody to replace her at the moment, so it's kind of like a village. So the whole front office is taking over different duties. I heard that the entertainment last Friday was awesome. Sorry I missed it. I did hear that he got a standing O, which is great. That's a first for me. So Devin does have things planned out. She has entertainers each month. Alex and Jess and Laura are helping out greatly with announcements and trips and Touchtown, and Dave is helping with videoing. And she has a whole booklet of who's doing what. She was very organized before she left. I have a whole sheet. The Herald Alex is going to be doing it with combination of articles from myself, from Mark, from Laura, and from Evan. I will be giving construction updates in the Herald, so anything that you want in the Herald, Alex will be your person. Alex is also coordinating the bingo for Friday nights, helping with the prizes. Christine, our new move-in coordinator, she's in charge of the movies with Olga. Olga is apparently doing the Sunday matinee. And entertainers, again, we have resident volunteers. Olga and Marcia are helping host our entertainers, and Jess is making sure that they get paid. So there's an entertainer on July 9th, July 23rd, August 13th, and August 27th. So they are all entertainers already planned. Laura's chipping in with all the trips. She's at Peddler Village today. I believe there's going to be a Longwood Garden trip. Alex and Laura are helping with birthday night. Alex is doing the birthday card. So we hope that everything is addressed. So things are still going to move forward. We may, if you have a question, we may hesitate for a second and try to figure out who's doing what. But we have our instructions, and we're going to do our best to make sure that everything is all still together when Devin returns to us in September. So, and as soon as I have any information on the birth of her child, we will communicate it. I keep texting her every day, checking in, but she's still hanging tight. So, hopefully all goes well, and we will communicate that. We also are doing Sun East is coming back. They've contacted us. I believe they're going to come back on Wednesday, but I don't know what Wednesday yet. So we still have the trips going to the bank, but Sun East the big truck will be coming back. And tomorrow we have the Longest Day, which is a big event for Alzheimer's research. And Kate and Laura have taken that over. They have several activities planned. Just trying to find the list. We have all-day independent activity scavenger hunt. We have a 10 a.m. annual pet walk. The horses will return. So Anne has 2 horses, Anne from therapy. So if you want to see a horse, there will be 2. So they're going to join in the lobby to enjoy a socially distant walk with your pet around the loop. So I think they were asking for a donation if you did that, just because this is a fundraiser. There will be a Wii bowling tournament in the theater at 11, and then 1 o'clock a Just dance-off. Like to see that. And then at 2 o'clock, the car wash. It's always been... There's a sign up. That should be an event. Unfortunately, I won't be here. I'll be at the softball game. So it will be a group effort. Everybody's going to be pitching in. Unfortunately, I will not be. The Longest Day always falls on the week that I'm normally not here due to a family vacation. But so I apologize that I will not be here, but I hope we take lots of pictures and I see it on Facebook. And I will give you some capital updates. So the construction in Willowbrook Court is still continuing on. That is when we are converting the 4-person bathrooms to only 2-people bathrooms, with the intent to eventually make it a single room. So we have reached out to Life Safety. Life Safety has to come in and inspect it. And then once they say it's able to be occupied, then the Department of Health has to come in and inspect it. And then once they say it can be occupied, we will occupy it. And then we will move on to the next set of rooms. We have 6 rooms left to do. And then every bathroom will not share they'll all be semi-private bathrooms with the ability to convert to a private room. And that's our overall goal. But because of the steps of the surveys, it takes a very long time. So that means that we are down 4 beds capacity-wise, and that's why we are sending people to Granite. We don't have enough space at this time because of the construction, and therefore Granite has been very helpful in taking some of our residents, and we appreciate their assistance and their collaboration. But just so you know, sometimes residents don't choose to come back. They want to just go right back to their apartment or not make another move. So we want to do what's best for the resident. So we do offer when there's an availability to come back, but if they don't want to make that move, or Granite doesn't have the need, then they can stay put. But our goal is to get all of our residents back as soon as possible. Fingers crossed. I'm told that the F2 door will be automated by tomorrow. So that one of the new things, and this has been, what are we going on, 2 years maybe? Waiting for this door? Before it was, we didn't really order it until mid-pandemic, but one of the things that now is a shortage is glass. So because of the pandemic. So it's glass, it's cabinets, it's appliances, it's the microchips. So there's a lot of things other than staff that are out. And with staff, but with no one working, they can't make these things either. So I don't know where all these non-workers are because we're all here. But these delays may impact move-ins as well. But we're trying our best to be as quick as possible with move-ins and make accommodations. And I'm sure you all know that there is lots of construction happening with renovations. Every wing is being renovated. I think there's an apartment in every building that is being renovated. So I apologize for the noise, the dust, the whatever, but you'll get a new neighbor. So all of these are happening to fill our community so that we can continue with capital improvements and continue to be an active community. I just wanted to also remind that as new neighbors move in, some have pets, and some pets need to be acclimated to a community as well as the neighbor. And just to remember that if you do have a pet, to follow the pet policy and make sure that your pet is on a leash if your pet is not in your apartment. We don't want any mishaps with anybody. So just wanted to remind that. And again, annually we do update the pet forms if you with shots and new people to take care of your pets in emergency. So if anything has changed, we ask that you update that information in the front office. So the trees with the pink ribbons are actually going to get removed. We tagged them last month, but it has been scheduled for June 28th through the 30th. So that's before the end of the month. So hopefully that will happen. And all of our laundry room doors are now completely hands-free automatic. So we're thrilled about that. But which of course leads to everybody requesting for other doors to be automatic, but we're not there yet. We had the K4. K4's working. Those that have opted in for that, it's a great amenity. Those that have opted out, just to remind you, you can always opt in whenever you want. So we will be asking at your annual apartment visit to remind you if you wanted to opt back in. Some people that are couples have opted out. Other people feel that they don't need it. But as things change, you may want it. It's an extra level of security to let us know that you're moving around. There's no video, there's no microphone, there's no little eye. No one's peeking in on you. It just senses movement. So if there's no movement between 5 and 11, I get an alert, the front office gets an alert, wellness office gets an alert, maintenance gets an alert, and security gets an alert. So one of us will be responding. So we just want you to be able to take advantage of that if you want it. If you recently moved in and you don't know what we're talking about, you should know what we're talking about. But if not, you can come to the front office, and we have the opt-in forms. And they are eventually going to roll into the K4 is going to turn into kind of like an Alexa, where you can say, K4, turn on my lights or turn off my lights or make me a dinner reservation. So we're trying to come up with the smart apartment. I don't know how soon we're going to get that.
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. So anyway, Granite is apparently piloting it, so we'll see. And what else do I have real quick? We just have, and we are getting, one thing else that we've learned with the pandemic is how much we all have relied on technology. So we are going to be upgrading our Wi-Fi. It's going to be Wi-Fi 12. It should help everybody. I have been told 2 months, but I've also been told that there's these little chips that we don't have. So I don't want to give a date of that, but it's supposed to enhance our Wi-Fi throughout the campus so that ex-guest that you have, it should be a secure, so that every apartment will have a secure Wi-Fi capability. But more to come on that. We also are installing the red alert sensor buttons on the perimeter outside. So there will be 5 spots that if there's and obviously up near the gazebo, near the putting green, if there's an incident that you need help, that you'll be able to push outside. So that's something that we have identified as a big need. And that, I was told, is coming for the end of summer. And we will be getting headphones, a new telephone system, so everyone will have a headset. We're not thrilled, but it's called Microsoft Teams, and it's a new system internally for all of the managers to answer their phone through their computer. So desk phones apparently are going to be going away. Training will be next week. We'll be running together with the regular phones, but apparently it's the way to go. We'll all get new phone numbers, which is another reason why we haven't put out a directory, because apparently we're getting all new phone numbers internally with departments. So if you see Betsy with a headset, you'll know why. But we all are supposed to be getting them. And we're also getting a credit card software ability called Square. So that's rolling out next week as well. So we'll be able to take credit card payments for certain things, but not your monthly maintenance fee. That's still a check. And we are still working on our IT person coming here on a weekly basis. We just don't have a consistent day yet or person. And we are also continually working on the pool. So we've been dealing with chemicals. We had it closed. We got now a new filter, the desert air. We had issues with the desert air, which is the system that allows the pool to be so warm, the pool building. Dave and his team are continually piecing it together. And we are getting quotes to replaster the interior of the pool and convert it to salt. So we can't convert it without replastering it, or there will be no plaster. So the pool will be shut down, but we are definitely waiting to see when we can get that approved and start that, and we will let you know of that. And I just wanted to remind you that, out of COVID, the new tagline is, subject to change, and that always moving forward, and we are in the rebirth mode. We're growing out of COVID, so that's our goal. So before we run out of too much time, I wanted to bring Michael up real quick. How real quick?
I don't have real quick.
Oh, you don't have real quick?
Oh, I didn't know you were going to take an hour.
I didn't. Well, I have lots of info.
I didn't know that.
Well, you want to do an abridged version?
I guess I can.
Do an abridged
Do you want to do
version.
questions first? Or?
Yeah. Do we have any questions for me? Anyone? I mean, I usually read my positive thinking, and I'll just read this real quick. For today's date, June 17th, be careful not to stay stranded in the past. Do not look back unless it is recognized how far you've moved forward. Use the wisdom you gathered from the past and quietly advance in the direction of your wildest dreams. I can't believe how apropos some of these things are for the dates. And for my kindness boomerang is when you seek to discover the best in others, we somehow bring out the best in ourselves. And the reflection is giving a person recognition for what they've done gives them even greater incentive to continue putting their best foot forward. So, all right. Well, no questions? Okay. Michael Martin, the man with the bow tie. All right. Abridged version.
I'll try my best.
Okay.
Oh, got it. Get your books. Are we still up? Oh, good. All right, good. Can everybody hear me? Am I loud enough? Yes? I can't tell if I'm in the microphone or not. Good. I'm going to try something. Since I'm doing PowerPoint, there's a live transcription software. So hopefully that will help our hearing impaired friends see what I'm saying. So I'm Michael Martin. I'm your regional director for the Axe Legacy Foundation. I know most of you, but those of you who I don't know, I look forward to meeting. I have been with Axe since 2007, so I'm not new. I've been around for quite a while. Actually, moved into the foundation role the same year that Megan became your executive director. So we're kind of growing in our positions together. I took the chance last year when everything was slow to finish a professional certification. So as of last July, I am a chartered advisor in philanthropy, which just means I've completed some graduate level coursework to understand more complex charitable giving vehicles, so you can have faith when you see that designation that I know what I'm talking about if you want to discuss some more complicated charitable gift ideas. But generally, I work here at Lima with the residents to raise funds to support the needs of the community, whether that's your Samaritan Fund or various other projects. The foundation does have its own board of directors. We have residents on our board of directors. We try to have one resident from each region. We're currently looking for a resident to replace our resident down in Florida who's retired, and also to join the board of directors to represent our Chesapeake region. Here in the Mid-Atlantic, we're represented by Jane Young. Those of you who have been around a while may remember Jane. She was the executive director here at Lima Estates before Megan. She's now a resident at Granite Farms Estates, and we're very happy to have her to represent both the resident perspective and to give the perspective of management, because a lot of times that layer of community management is missing from the board of directors, so she really brings a fresh perspective to the board. We'll skip that. Normally in the spring, if you've been here for a few years, you'll remember we usually do a big ceremony and a big reception to honor our Circle of Loving Kindness, which is our honor society for those residents and community members that have made a significant commitment to Axe or to Lima Estates. That is with either a major gift, which in Axe terms, a major gift is $10,000 in one gift, or cumulative giving. So for those of you that have been here for 20 years, that give regularly, you may be surprised when I give you a call and say, hey, did you know you're in the Circle of Loving Kindness now? It adds up after a while, and we keep track of all that. It also recognizes people who make a planned gift, which is a planned future gift. Generally, these are estate gifts or gifts that are received by the community after the resident has passed. The biggest question I get here at Lima Estates is about the Samaritan Fund. So your Samaritan Fund, or you may hear this referred to as Benevolence Fund in other communities, provides financial assistance to those residents who outlive through no fault of their own, all of their financial assets. This is a confidential process that Megan will be involved with. She's the only one here in the building that knows who is applying or who is receiving financial assistance. I get questions all the time. Well, how many people here at Lima? I honestly don't know. They really don't tell a lot of information about what's going on with the Samaritan Fund on a micro level at the community. This fund, again, only exists through charitable contributions, and those of you who have attended our Samaritan Fund galas in the past will know that that one event does generate quite a lot of revenue to support our Samaritan Fund here. We also accept private donations throughout the year and towards the end of the year. Something important to know, because I do hear this, especially from some of the residents that have been around for a long time, the Samaritan Fund can only be used to support residents in financial need. The Samaritan Fund is a fund within Axe Legacy Foundation. They're very separate things. Sometimes I hear older staff refer to the foundation as the Samaritan Fund. The foundation is not the Samaritan Fund, but the Samaritan Fund is a piece of the foundation. The Lima Estates Samaritan Fund can only be used to support residents here at Lima Estates. We can't use it for any other community or any other purpose than supporting our residents in financial need. So keep that in your mind. There are other charitable funds. So like I said, the Samaritan Fund is a piece of the foundation, just like all of these other funds are. So here at Lima Estates, you also have a Willowbrook Court Fund, an Oak Ridge Terrace Fund. There's a Resident Activities Fund that I work with Devin to use, Community Enrichment Fund, which can be used to buy furniture and refurbish things, do all sorts of projects. The Classical Music Committee has established a classical music fund to support those classical music programs long into the future. Spiritual Life Fund is where your Sunday Vesper donations end up, and your chaplain, Mark. The Spiritual Life Committee will manage the use of those funds. There's a nursing staff fund that was set up with a generous donation from a family many years ago, and Megan has been using that to help your nursing staff feel appreciated and rewarded. There's also a hospice fund to support the hospice operations. And of course, there's unrestricted. So for those of you who might make a gift to Lima Estates, but you don't put one of these funds on there, or you're not sure what you want to support, it will just end up in unrestricted, and Megan then can use those funds to do whatever it is she really needs to do here at the community that she might not have funding for. So the other question I get is, how do funds get used? Well, the funds are used at the request of the executive director. So Megan will hear from residents or staff about a need in the community. She'll generally approach me, call me, email me, and say, hey, I need money to do something. Do we have any? She's shaking her head because we sometimes will say no. But if the request meets the spirit of one of the existing funds, if the request can be fulfilled by the foundation, we'll review that and approve it so that those funds can then be directed for that purchase or for that project. Generally, the only exception to this chain is your Spiritual Life Fund, which is released at the request of your chaplain and Spiritual Life Committee. So just quick visuals. We do some larger projects. We haven't done any here at Lima in a very, very long time. But here are some more recent examples. St. Andrew's Veterans Pavilion, the Pool and Fitness Center at Manor House, and the Lanier Village Estates Chapel. Were just three things that were done with a charitable campaign for residents and local families and community members. Smaller projects are more common in the communities. Two very recent examples here. We bought some fitness equipment with resident donations at the Country House, and Granite Farms just had some residents donate money to install an electric car charging station. So that picture's brand new. I haven't gotten a better picture yet, but a resident sent that to me because they were charging their car up for the very first time, and were very happy to report to me that it works. So I was happy to hear that as well. But just some examples of smaller projects that we've been able to accomplish with resident support. We also fund a lot of programs throughout the organization. Sometimes it is activities or concerts. Here are two examples of programs that support staff. Cokesbury Village, a family established an award for CNA in Willowbrook Court. Their mother was there, and they were so touched by the staff's support and care for her as an individual. They created an award to recognize and honor the best CNA in Willowbrook Court. So every year the family comes and we present this award, and it's just a very nice thing that the staff all look forward to it. We also have several employee scholarship programs throughout the organization that can help employees that are looking to continue their education or expand their education. Oh, I did go through it pretty quick. Any questions for me? Is everybody awake? Did everybody take notes?
How did you do that program?
It's just a button on I'll show you.
Really? So my whole Let's Talk would be
Yes,
scroll like that.
yes.
That's kind of cool. Oh, look.
Watch what you say.
I didn't think it was that sensitive, but apparently it is. If any of you think of any questions or you want to talk about what's going on, feel free to give me a call, reach out to me. I am here in the community regularly, so I know I see a lot of familiar faces. Feel free. I'm here. ACTS employees meet to work with you to help support their community. So don't be a stranger.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great afternoon. Happy Thursday. Thank you. All right. You need to show me that.
It's this button. That's all it is. It's a brand new feature. It just popped up when I turned this on. I was like, I didn't know it could do that.
That's amazing.
You have to get power.